Hey guys! Crossovers are really fun, especially when it's between two franchises you really like. I love Pokemon, and this year I started watching Bluey and really enjoyed it. So I thought it would be fun to imagine what the dog Pokemon would look like in the Bluey art style. So if you enjoy these two franchises, or just like seeing Pokemon in other styles, let's hop into this Pokemon and Bluey crossover. Oh, and disclaimer, here's an explanation for what I'm counting as a dog Pokemon. Skip to this part of the video if you want to jump straight into the crossover. I'll only be showing Pokemon that the average person would look at and say, "Aw, what a good doggy," or Pokemon that are said to be inspired by dogs. So it'll include Pokemon based on wolves and jackals, for example, but not foxes. It also won't include the legendary beasts or Eevee in its evolutions, since there's so much debate in the community about what they're supposed to be. Okay, let's see that crossover now. Scarlet was the first dog Pokemon we ever got, so let's start with them. They're incredibly friendly, and will approach other young dogs right away, hoping to become friends. Now let's move on to the fan favorite, Arcanine. They're always prepared to step in and take action when things get tough. Arcanine is incredibly brave and well respected by their friends and neighbors. Of course, we have to see what the Hisuian variants would look like. Growlithe's cousin, Hisuian Growlithe, is a playful pup. They love to run, and sometimes get a bit cheeky by running straight at their friends during play and tackling them to the ground. And here's Hisuian Arcanine. They're more serious than the Cantonian Arcanine, and are definitely just as tough. Even though this is the case, they also are very caring, especially with their child Hisuian Growlithe. Now let's see what our Johto dogs are up to. Here's Houndour, a mischievous cheeky pup. They're constantly getting into trouble, and have probably been grounded in their house more often than not. Houndour's probably scowling right now because they just got grounded again. If Houndour evolved, it would become Houndoom. They sure are fierce, and they aren't afraid to show it. Looks like they might be enraged right now because their rugby team just lost the game. Maybe our next dog Pokemon is doing better. No, it looks like Snubbull here isn't having a good day either. They're channeling some serious muffin energy right now. Even though they look grumpy and angry all the time, they're not tough or scary at all. In fact, they're actually easily spooked. And here's Houndoom's friend, Granbull. They may look scary when they're mad like this, but they're actually a pretty timid dog. Our next dog Pokemon is said to be based on a beagle, and that Pokemon is Smeargle. This artistic Pokemon loves to paint with their tail. They're known for creating some of the most amazing murals around town. Next up are Poochyena and Mightyena. And yes, I realize that these Pokemon are hyenas, which aren't technically dogs or canines, but a lot of folks think of these Pokemon as being dogs or dog-like, and they're basically in every list of dog Pokemon out there. Poochyena also has Pooch in its name, which was pointed out to me by a few viewers. Poochyena is said to be the best at hide and seek, being able to track and find other players at a record speed. Mightyena isn't as enthusiastic as their kid, but they love spending time with their pup, even if it's not usually shown through the expression on their face. Bolting in now is a dog full of energy, Electrike. They just can't sit still, and are always zipping around the yard and playground, and this is without eating a ton of sugar and treats beforehand. They're the last to fall asleep when they have sleepovers at their friend's house. The exhausted Manectric is coming up now. They might be tired from their pup's boundless energy, but they're incredibly fast and could easily catch up to and outrun Electrike if needed. Our first and only baby Pokemon in this video is Riolu. Even though they're young, they're already training to be the very best they can be. They can get a bit too focused on their goal, to the point where they sometimes don't even hear their parents calling their name to come back into the house. Lucario here has already gone through training. They are incredibly strong, both in body and in mind. In fact, they can now even harness Aura itself. It looks like they're getting ready to launch an Aura Sphere right now. Next is the small and shy Lillipup. She's still learning how to use her big girl bark. Lillipup has a hard time getting to know other dogs her age while out and about, and when she gets overwhelmed, she'll run back to her parents asking to go home. Herdier are much more confident. They don't have any hesitation when approaching others, and are very friendly. They still sometimes get a little overwhelmed when out in public, but they've learned ways to lessen that and know how to collect themselves and calm down when it does happen. Stoutland is a dog Pokemon that's always given me grandpa vibes. There was even a kind old Stoutland in the Pokemon anime. They're always happy when they get to babysit their grandchildren, and you can trust them with any of your secrets and worries. A dog that definitely doesn't give off old vibes is Furfru. They're a real influencer, going on every social media site to give their followers tips and tricks for finding the perfect outfit or style for their fur. I didn't realize Swirlix was a dog for the longest time. The inspiration is a lot more obvious when it's ready to battle and on the ground, with its paws showing, tongue flapping, and tail wagging. They're said to be inspired by cotton candy and the Bichon Frise. Swirlix here is a small but hardy breed. Make way for Slurpuff. This meringue dog is bursting with energy as they're experiencing a sugar rush. Even without eating tons of sweets, Slurpuff has a naturally energetic and bubbly personality. Their cheerfulness is infectious. Zygarde is a really interesting Pokemon that can look completely different depending on how many Zygarde cells you collect. In the 10% form, they look like this. And here they are in the Bluey art style. Their job is to help study the planet. Rockruff is a pup that is always thrilled to make friends. Whenever one of their friends or family comes to visit, they're the first to give them a big hug. When Rockruff is ready to evolve, they can take on one of 3 forms: midday form Lycanroc, midnight form Lycanroc, and dusk form Lycanroc. The midday form is calm, collected, and loyal. The midnight form is the total opposite. They have an unpredictable temper and are more reckless. Dusk form Lycanroc's personality is a bit of a middle ground between the other two. They're a calm dog, but they also have a strong fighting spirit. A dog that is much smaller is the corgi Pokemon Yamper. They don't let their short height get in the way, and are always up for a challenge. Zipping in is Yamper's evolved form, Boltund. Boltund goes out for a run every single day, no matter what the weather or temperature is. It's rumored that they can run for 3 days straight. Here comes the legendary duo, Zacian and Zamazenta. Zacian already has their sword raised and ready for battle. Better stand back. Zamazenta seems to also be expecting a fight. I don't know how they're even standing right now with all of that armor. And now we've gotten to our latest generation of dog Pokemon, Gen 9. We got lots of great new dogs in Paldea, like Fido here. They're a sweet pup, and they always do what their parents tell them to. Dashwin here just had to look like Snickers and his mom. They're known for being an incredible baker, and their house is always filled with yummy smells. Next up is the little rascal Mastiff. They get upset when others don't take them seriously. When they scowl and try to act extra serious, other dogs will laugh at them, thinking they're just trying to be silly. Sometimes, Mastiff will be so upset that they'll run to their grandparent Mabostiff. This dog is a gentle giant, but you don't want to mess with their family. They'll give any dog that is bothering their grandchild a stern talking to. Dancing their way in now is the ghost pup Greavard. They're happy to play with any other dogs their age. When they're at the playground or in a situation where there are new dogs, they're the first to go up and introduce themselves. Many are shocked when they see Houndstone for the first time, but there's no need to be afraid. They're considered to be the most loyal of all the dog Pokemon. And to wrap things up, we have one of the newest legendaries, Okidogi. They're a ruffian with a short temper, so keep your eye out for them. And that's all of our dog Pokemon in the Bluey universe. Which one was your favorite? And what franchise would you want to see Pokemon have a crossover with? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!